8,933. So I do hereby declare that Jamie Driscoll is duly elected Mayor for Newcastle upon Tyne, North Tyneside and Northumberland Combined Authority.
Thank you. This victory in the north of Tyne is a verdict on positive campaigning on clear socialist policies. The Tory party has been rejected, not simply for bungling the Brexit negotiations, but it's a verdict on a derelict politics created by a derelict government. Local Labour councils have been hit for making devastating cuts to local services forced on them by the Tory government. Our people have rejected the chaos of a private rented sector where their kids can be kicked out of their home at a month's notice. They've rejected a chaotic housing market where our young people can't afford to live where they grew up. Our passengers have rejected a chaotic transport system where they don't know if the bus will turn up or if the metro will be running. Our small business owners have rejected the insecurity of not knowing if corporations will pay their bills and who escape tax with impunity. The people in our charities and voluntary sector have rejected the chaos of a funding system where they don't know what income they will have from year to year. Ordinary working people have rejected the chaos of living from week to week without knowing if they can pay their bills while their debts mount. Women born in the 1950s live with the chaos of seeing their pensions disappear and being told to get apprenticeships by an ignorant pensions minister. Our children have rejected the politics where hate crime is rising and a strand of politicians and sections of our media fan the sparks of bitterness into the flames of racism and division. And our people have rejected an establishment that has ignored the science of climate change and wrung their hands until it has become an emergency threatening our very civilization. When one of our citizens is hungry and homeless, we are all diminished. All of these crises have the same cause: a dog-eat-dog ideology and an economic system that favours the interests of the ultra-rich over the working people who produce the wealth. It's our taxi drivers and care workers and engineers and teachers and chefs and local government officers and small business owners who produce our wealth and keep us safe. But why does it have to be that way? We should be on the right side of history. From the Tyne to the Tweed, we have warm people with creative talent and the willingness to put a fair day's work in for a fair day's pay. Socialism is about levelling the playing field so that everyone, whether born into a rich family or a poor one, grows up to be the best person they can be, in a society that helps a person back on their feet when they stumble. It's about giving people the security of knowing that they can pay their bills because they earn at least the real living wage. We need a real living wage because it makes good economic sense. It's about creating a level playing field for those who own and work in their own small businesses because they keep money in our local economies and they boost our prosperity. It's the security of having a warm home that you know will be able to make a life in this year and next so that people can plan their lives and be part of a community. My campaign has put these policies front and centre, and we published these in my manifesto. My opponents keep calling me a socialist, a label I'm proud to accept. No one was in any doubt about what I will do as North of Tyne Mayor. Our people voted for these socialist policies because they knew it would bring security to their lives and their loved ones. And this is the manifesto we will deliver. Because if we're going to end the chaos of neoliberal capitalism, and if we're going to unite as a country, we will need to win the trust of those who have disengaged from politics. And that starts by delivering what we have been mandated to deliver. So we'll build these modular cooperative homes, we'll establish that People's Bank, we'll create these hubs and bring lifelong learning to our communities. We'll convene that climate change liaison group to stop a climate crisis becoming a climate catastrophe. And it will mean working together with the constituent authorities and our dedicated public servants. It will mean working with our democratically elected councillors of all parties, and my hand is extended in friendship. It will require all our businesses to live up to their corporate social responsibility and match the examples of so much good work that our businesses already do. and it will require our citizens to fulfill their part of the democratic contract. You don't just elect me and wait 5 years for a report. You have to step up and participate as part of the Climate Change Liaison Group, as tenants of the cooperative housing, as owners of the People's Bank, because that's what real democracy is. It's the citizens of our country taking part in public life and actively deciding our collective future. You cannot outsource democracy. I believe the highest patriotism is the active participation in civic life and working to defend our fellow citizens from the chaos and oppression of poverty, insecurity, and hatred. Thank you to the police, thank you to the returning officer, and all of the staff who were working last night and this for such a very long count process. Thank you. Thank you to those of my opponents who fought a clean campaign. And congratulations to our new Labour councillors, those who won in the by-elections in Northumberland, and those who have returned their seats, and the new councillors in Newcastle and North Tyneside. And a massive, huge thank you to my brilliant campaign team. Your efforts, creativity, stamina and good humour have actually made this an enjoyable 6 months. And finally, thank you to Caroline, Leon and Nelson for keeping me going and putting up with having a politician in the House. Thank you.